So this is Prune. Hi, Prune. This is Fig.
Hello, Lazarus. Oh, my name's Fig, yeah.
Here's Raisin. Say hello, Raisin. Say hello. 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 And this is Date. Say hello, Date. Hello.
Oh, yes, hello.
Spaying and neutering is huge because feral colonies do not need to exist in mass quantity. You look at some other countries that just have rampant amount of cats running around. And you know, feral colonies are great for a certain... Hello, what? Feral colonies are good in a lot of ways. They can be good for the surrounding neighborhood when it comes to pest control and things like that. But they need to be taken care of, and if there is a person that is willing to be responsible for these cats or has the money to just even have someone catch them and vaccinate them and spay and neuter them, it makes a huge difference in the cat community. On the topic of FLV and FIP. FLV is feline leukemia virus. So feline leukemia virus affects approximately 3% of the feline population. Now this is something that can be treated. Your cats may be able to have an extended period and quality of life for average 2.5 years. But again, this is something that will inevitably become fatal, and it can be cross-contaminated between your other house kitty cats. So you need to be aware and possibly test if you start seeing symptoms. Some of the symptoms of FLV are paleness, jaundice, which is the yellowing of the, of membranes, even yellowing of the skin. If you've ever known someone that looks like that, it does happen to animals as well. Also, the lymph nodes can be infected, and the lymph nodes can be affected. The lymph nodes can be affected, so they become swollen, they become very noticeable. They also tend to contract urinary infections, bladder infections, and even skin infections. You may also see anorexia and lethargy. Anorexia, basically they stop eating or they even lose some weight. FLV can be contracted from saliva, nasal secretion, urine, feces, and milk. So from a feline mother, she can give the virus to her kittens through her milk. Also from grooming, licking, things like that. A lot of times these viruses can be contracted if you allow your feline to go outside. Whether they be bitten outside or even drinking water from an area where maybe a cat was grooming themselves. You just never really quite know where it comes from. But also they can possibly contract this from a housemate that has it. From prolonged exposure to this, having a housemate, you can potentially keep other FLV positive cats in your home without contaminating your other cats, but inevitably it's going to happen. Again, it can be contracted from so many different ways that eventually it's most likely going to happen. When it comes to FIP. FIP is feline infectious peritonitis. FIP is also known as feline AIDS. FIP, very similar to FLV, is going to have fever, anorexia, lethargy, but it's also possibly going to have extra thirst, larger amounts of urination, vomiting, weight loss, and jaundice again. The way that your cat can contract FIP is a long story. So typically it's by licking fecal matter, and this can become an immune response. Technically, it starts off as FCV. So this is the coronavirus strain. Basically, it ends up affecting respiratory issues and GI issues, so they might have a sniffle, maybe a little bit of a cough, and some diarrhea. A lot of cats will get over this. They create an immune response and can get over it. Now, the issue is when it becomes a biological behavioral issue. So the white blood cells become attacked, the tissue becomes attacked, specifically most likely in the abdomen, kidney, and brain. But it will affect the tissue, and at this point, once those two things combine, it becomes FIP. So it's a very mutated virus. It has to go through a few different processes in order to become FIP. FIP is fatal. There is not an FDA-approved treatment for FIP, so it's very important that you are monitoring your cats and being aware of these types of diseases. Unlike FLP, you can possibly get about 2.5 years median from your cat after being aware of this disease and being able to treat it somewhat, maintain the symptoms, and you will get a few years. With FIP, there is not really a good treatment. I mean, you could probably give sub-Q fluids, give it, 9 to 10 medications a day, and you're probably going to keep your cat for less than a month maybe, and it will be a miserable month. So again, be aware of these things. These things can affect kittens as well. So when you have a sick kitten that has diarrhea, vomiting, not eating, sounds puny, these are some huge signs. It's a very vital time for kittens to be able to grow when they're young. If they are having diseases or they're sickly, every day counts. Every day counts. Even with older cats, if they're not eating for a 24-hour period, things can become drastically fatal. So again, you need to be monitoring your feline friends and making sure they're okay. Something I'm not really great at is monitoring my milk, his litter box. But it should be done almost daily to make sure they are urinating, make sure that everything is coming out normally. If they're having any types of parasites or diarrhea, they need to have that taken care of immediately. When I have vomiting and diarrhea once or twice, not a big deal. We're 10 times their size. They have vomiting and diarrhea once and they need to be hospitalized. So you need to monitor your pets and make sure that they are healthy. Talking about the cost factor. So you think about medications being distributed to one animal, it's not as big of a deal, but when it comes to a whole bunch of kittens, it becomes very costly. The antibiotics, the dewormers, the probiotics, and the food, you're going to be spending a lot of money. And if you're not planning on keeping these kittens, just understand this can run you, $500 to $1,000 within 2 weeks. So if you're not financially prepared to take in kittens, don't do it. Find a rescue, find a veterinary hospital, see what you can do. Take them to the pound. Typically kittens are pretty well sought out after at animal shelters and things like that. So if you're willing to take on kittens, you need to understand the financial risk of it. Stimulating cats is key. If you are not stimulating them enough, they will also become unhappy and unruly. They need to have toys. They need to have scratching posts. They need to have enough litter boxes. For my kittens, as they've started to get older and bigger, I have needed to add an additional food bowl because one of them is just a fatty and wants to hog the whole thing to himself. Like literally put his foot in the food and be like, no, this is mine. Like he is a super fatty. Make sure they have water constantly, and make sure they can't get up onto things and possibly injure themselves. Hey, what are y'all doing? Countertops are too high for kittens, and trust me, there are plenty of kittens that come into my hospital with broken limbs. It's very, very common, but you need to be aware. Little kittens are very fragile, and from a countertop, that's way too far to fall. So keep everything low until they start getting older and they really start being able to jump and climb and can handle the height of what they're exploring. Hey! Just want to show you this little kitten. You got her. Where's your go? Oh, you go. Oh, yeah. Little kitten. She loves it so much. Look at all the kittens, I'm here. Look at all the kittens, Be free. Having kittens has definitely been fun, but I'm ready to get rid of them all. All of these guys actually already have homes, and they're going to them tonight. So I'm super excited to have played a journey in their, or played a part in their journey, and actually, help them become a little bit healthier. But I will be happy to see them go. Anywho, thank you guys for watching. I super appreciate your menacing kittens. Super appreciate your time, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you do have any questions, regarding cat care or kitten care, please let me know. I would love to make a video for you guys that y'all are curious about. But thank you for taking the time to watch this, and I hope you guys have a great night. Okay, you're the last one.
Whispers in my mind, I slow